Hey everyone, in this UFC 5 character creation guide video, I want to walk you through the create fighter section in the game. So it's on the root menu, and if we jump into here, this is where you can create fighters. You can have up to 50 fighters, so you can see I've got quite a few different ones here, just all different ones currently welterweight, but we can choose whatever weight we want and whatever style and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to walk through that here. So simply go to a free slot that has the green plus on it and then create new fighter, which down the bottom left is A for me. That'll be X on the PlayStation. The first choice you need to do is whether you want to be in the women's division or the men's division. So we go with the men's. And then on the next page is where we start creating our fighter. Now, it will randomize a look for a fighter for you, and maybe you're happy with that. If so, cool. But if not, we will continue with all of these different areas here and walk you through what each one does. The first bar that we've got here is fighter type, and if we select this, what you've got is the ability to pick a kind of core move set. So whether you want to be a kickboxer, a boxer, MMA, wrestler, or jiu-jitsu. And if you look underneath each of these, there's these little dots. So under the word kickboxer at the top left, there's 3 little dots. And these are kind of like little sub choices where we've got different perks depending on what you want to be. So you may want to be an acrobat style kickboxer. So you can see the perks. We've got crazy legs, roundhouse and switch kicks are faster, taekwondo spin kicks are faster and more accurate. So if you're more interested in a kicking style, then something like the acrobat kickboxer may suit you nicely. If you're more interested in using your hands and you just want to punch, then of course a boxer is going to make sense. Or if you want to get down and dirty on the floor, you may want to go with a wrestler style or perhaps jiu-jitsu. So the choice is entirely yours. But I'm going to go back to kickboxer and have a little look at that acrobat one. The other thing you can see on here are your core attributes down the bottom. So you can see this type of fighter excels at stand up. So that's, just fighting standing up. Grappling so-so at 3 stars. Health is very strong as well at 4.5 stars. So it's a good, distance fighter or standing up, but not so much on the grappling. So, you want to pick something that suits what you want to do in UFC. So let's move on. So we've selected that as the fighter type. Now let's go to the general info. And then on this page here, this is where you can pick first name, last name, nickname, social media handle, hometown, all of these. And some of these things will, be quite important on where you want to fight. So if, for example, we're at 77 kilos, which is welterweight, but if we change the weight here and go for a, heavier fighter, as you go through these, they're going to, go to heavier classes. You're going to fight different types of opponent. You're going to be a little bit slower, or if you go lighter, you're going to be that little bit quicker. So it's entirely up to you what sort of weight you want to go with, and also what height. So you can see my character moves up quite a bit depending on what we pick here, and you can see the heavier we go in theory. Let's see what the biggest we can go. That is getting a big dude, 198 centimeters. That's pretty tall. So we can change the age as well. So as we change that, we can probably get a slightly more youthful look. We can also go with orthodox or southpaw. So, whether you want to fight left or right-handed. And
like this?
different voices.
This is the voice in your head.
How does this one sound for you, kid?
Got it. Stay focused, stay in control.
I'm the voice in your head.
I quite like that one. And then the nickname. So we select this. So these are ones that it should reference in the game. So you've got all sorts of different ones that you can go with. So whatever you want. And there's some weird ones here. I'm going to go with downtown. And then last name, surname, you could change all of this. So if you go with these ones that we've got here, they should say this in the commentary. So hopefully you've got a name that you know. If not, right up the top, you can create a custom one, but I don't think they'll then say it. So it's entirely up to you. So let's just go with, I don't know, Rawlings. That sounds cool. First name, you can put whatever. So let's go Tommy Rawlings. I don't know why. It's just popped into my head. So we'll go with that. And we're saying he's a 96 kilo monster heavyweight. So that's all done. You can come back into here. You can change the hometown. The social media handle would make more sense to change that now, wouldn't it? So we'll go T Rawlins. Like so. And that's really used in the sort of pushing the fight type thing. So it's, just however you want to do that. Hometown, we can pick a different hometown if we want. So whether you want to be in the US or you want to go, to wherever, you just go all through here. You can see all sorts of different ones here, and just pick where you want to be. So let's go with, it's an English one. So we'll go with Ipswich. Let's say he's an Englishman. Okay, so we'll go with that. When you're happy with all of that, we just go back, and of course we can go back into here in a minute if we want. So you can see the stuff at the top left is being updated, so I'm now classed as a heavyweight kickboxer as opposed to the welterweight that I was at the start. We'll then go into appearance, which is of course one of the key areas here. And you've got the ability to go with presets first, then skin tone, hair, head, body, and tattoos. So if we have a little look at the presets first, these are pre-built fighters for you that you can then adapt. Or you can just go with these as the default. So if I pick this one, for example, or this one, I'm just moving between them with my left stick and pressing A to select one of these. So you can, if you're looking to try and create someone similar to you, which is obviously popular, or whether you want to, you know, a particular fighter in your head, that sort of thing, you can go with one of these and then adapt it if you so wish. So I'm rotating around the fight with the right stick here. So if we hit back and come back out of here, we can then go to skin tone and start sort of tailoring this a little bit. So there's the current skin tone. I could go with a custom skin tone, or we can go with the defaults here and go for something a little sort of more olivey, or go really dark, entirely up to you. Or you can go custom here and pick an exact color if you want to be a blue fighter or whatever. You know, you should be able to do that if you so wish, but I don't really want to do that. I have to go with that one there. So we'll come back out. Hair, we can then go in and say, right, we don't like this hairstyle, for example. So we can go in here, select style, and then go through all these different ones. So you could go with, wow, that is some fearsome hair. Oh my goodness, look at that. Some of these, would you really go into the ring looking like this? I do not know. So you could go bald, you can go with all sorts of different hairstyles here. So quite a good selection of different hair that we've got to pick here. So hopefully you'll find something similar to whatever you want to go with. So I'm just going to be boring and go with something like that. We can also change the hair color. So when you're happy with that hairstyle, hit B to go back, or whatever button it shows down the bottom left, and then move down to color, and you can pick a different color. So for example, if I want to go a bit darker, like so, we can do that. On the top bar, we can flick between head, eyebrows, face, and body. So if we go over to the eyebrows, you can see we've got different style eyebrows here. So you can just pick something, whatever suits you know, the look that you're going for. So let's go with that one. And again, we can go in and change the color here. So we'll match that. But you can see the beard on this dude at the minute is a little bit sort of lighter than the top of his hair, which may or may not be the sort of look that you're going for. So if we move over to the face, we can have a little look at the style on the face. So this is the facial hair that we've got here. So if you want to have clean shaven, you could do that, or you could go with a beard. Look at that beautiful look there. Oh my word, look at that one. So there are, oh my goodness. So, you know, they're just getting worse. I mean, why, EA? Well, why? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm just going to go clean shaven. You could, of course, if you go back here, and if you did have a beard, you could change the color there. And then we come down to the body. So we've got slightly different styles here. So we can just go through these. This is like the body hair that we're seeing on the character. So whether you want any body hair or not, wow, that's a hairy dude there. Or whether you want to be fairly clean shaven, completely clean shaven like that, or maybe just a bit of arm hair, or a little bit of chest hair as well, whatever you want. So we'll go with that. And again, you can go back here and change the color of that if you want. So that's the hair. Now we come to the head, and this is pretty good that you can really go to work on this. Use a head template and indeed sculpt it entirely if you so wish. So you can start with a template and see if you find a character that looks like you know, what you want to look like, whether you want to try and create yourself, or whether, you know, you want to, you know, just find a look to a fighter that you like. Entirely up to you. So let's say we pick this one, for example. We can then go into the sculpt and really go to town on this, so we can see the head protrusion, the head height, the head size, all of these sort of things, and really adjust how these go. So for example, we can adjust that brow, and you can see the eyebrows moving a little bit as I do that. So that's entirely up to you how you want to do these. But you can see this could get quite complicated, but you should be able to get a pretty close approximation to whatever sort of fighter you want. So if we want slightly more cauliflower ears like that, we could do. You know, there's a lot of control here over what you know want, really. So right the way through to nose, to jaw, to chin, etc., etc. So they're all pretty self-explanatory, but you know that's all there if you want to do it. If we come over to the eyes, you can change the eye color. So you can see dark hazel at the minute. So if we want a brown one like so, we could do that. And then we come to the body shape. So here, we've only got a set selection, so we can go quite slim like this, a bit more chunky, or we think there's some that are quite wide if you want. If you want to be a big fat fight, you could do that, or something a bit more honed. So let's go with that one. So fairly easy there. Lastly but not leastly, we have tattoos. So you can go into the tattoo section and have all sorts of layers here and have a lot of fun with this. So we can go head and body, left arm, right leg. So on the top bar there, we use an LB, RB to flick between them. So if we go to the left arm, for example, you can see all of these different tattoos that we've got here that we can pop on. So for example, let's chuck someone on here. Let's go with, what have we got? Let's have a little look. Wow, there's some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go with that tiger. And we can see that on the arm there. We can move this around, so we can move it right on the bicep there. So I'm using the left stick to move that around on the arm. We can then scale this up with up and down on the D-pad. So we could go like this. That looks pretty cool to me. And then when we're happy with that, we can just select it, and that is on as a layer. Now, the idea with layers is you can add multiple things on top of each other if you want. So we could have a new layer here and think about something else that we wanted to add. So we can have a little look through and just pick something that you like the look of. So I'm going to go with something like that. And we probably don't want it in the same area, so I'm going to move it down the arm a little bit. And you just put it wherever you want. So again, we can go with a scale. If you don't want it quite so dark as that, you could adjust the opacity, so I could make it a little bit more faint there. So that's all possible as well. So I'm going to go with that one. And you can see we've got those two on the sort of left arm there. So if we go to the head and the body, we can go with another thing here, and you could think where you wanted this one. So if we go through these again, let's see if we've got anything interesting that might work well on the body. Wow, there is some really detailed things on here. So all sorts of stuff here like we can see. Let's go with something like that skull there. Wow, look at that. So we probably don't want that quite that big. So I'm going to adjust the scale and then put that wherever we want on the character. So maybe there, that's pretty cool. And then we can continue that. So have a little look else what else we've got that may be cool. So you know, you could think about something like if you want to change your nickname to Beast, for example, you know, there's a tattoo there that might work quite well. So we could maybe consider putting that on the, I'm not sure whether we can get it to the back, but let's have a little look. Yeah, we can. So we can move around the back here. So you could put this down low if you wanted, or up on the shoulders. So it's going to depend, I suppose, on whether this works well or not, or maybe on the neck. So like that. So we'll go cool. And you're free to do the same sort of things on the right arm, the right leg, left leg, etc. But you get the idea here. If we just go down to a leg, just for example, let's see what else we've got here that might be interesting. So we're down to all different fonts now. So we could do lettering if we wanted on here. I think all these are fonts, so let's just go all the way back to the front. But you can see some quite interesting fonts there, like we see. But I'm going to go with something like that. That looks quite fun. And then put that around. I'm going to put that on the back, just like so. And then adjust it a little bit like that. So we'll pop that there. Now, if you don't like any of these, you can get rid of them as well. So if you're not happy with it, so we can go to this one here and delete it. So that's why. But I'm going to go with that. I'll say, you know, there we've gone with quite a few different things there with the fighter. So quite like that look. So once we're happy with that, we're all good. We just back out of here. And now we can go over to clothing. So you've got your fight kit, which is what you're going to fight with. And you can buy more things in the store. But you can go with your default ones here, whether you want to have the really tight shorts or whether you want something a little looser. So I'm going to go with the Mai Tai dark ones here. They are now equipped, so they'll be by default in the ring. And then you've got your Apex kit, which is like your training kit. So whether you just want to have shorts or whether you want to chuck a top on like so, it's entirely up to you. But if you're going to show your tattoos off, you probably want just the basic thing here. Bottoms, you can see we've got the compression tights here, but we probably want to go with something different. So for example, we want board shorts, so I'm going to go with those. We can flick over to the gloves and see different glove designs here that we've got here. So I'm going to go with those. And you'll get more stuff as you progress through career if you're going to use this fighter in career. So nothing in head or face or neck at the minute. Mouth guards you can also vary as well. So you can see we've got a very simple one there. We could have a little nod to the UK where I'm from here, or you could pick a different one here. Or the teeth. I've always quite liked the fangs one. So if we go with that one, we'll select that there. And that's the mouth guard ready in place, ready to fight. So if we come back out and back out again, so I'm using B to come back out. We've then got style. So this is kind of like your fighting style. So before you actually fight, you know, how you want the character to move. So you see Stephen Thompson here, very sort of bouncy on his feet. Or you can, even interesting is like you can go for females and pick their sort of moving style if you prefer, or the males as well. So we could look for something quite bouncy or quite static. Let's have a little look up here and just see what one we like the look of. That's very, very animated. That's a bit too slow. That's quite a fun one. So you see there, Rose I would assume is a female fighter, but I quite like the stance that she's got there, or the posture. So I'm going to go with that one. And then on the stare down, these are little things that you can use in, you know, sort of the ring. So you can see different ones here that you can select, such as this one here. And if we want to use this flexing one, we simply select it with select and then press up on the D-pad, or down, left or right or down where we want to have it. So if I put it on the bottom there, then when we're accessing these stare downs, that's the one that would be used. We've also got the same sort of thing for post-fight. So we've got these different ones here that we could use. So we could select this one here, for example, and say that's what we want to use post-fight. And then you've got the same sort of thing as we saw with the stare down for taunts. So you're free to use these here, like the shoulder wiggle. And we could say, right, we want that there. And then we've got the walkout music. So I've got my music off for this video, but you've got loads of different ones here. You can see top right of this bar, 339 different choices for music to walk out, which is pretty cool. And you'll hear each of them, you know, when you've got your music turned up. And there you go. Once you're happy with all of that, you can save. And then that is saved as a fighter for you. You'll reset back to the sort of main page, and then you're free to use that fighter when you start a new career if you want, or just mess around with them elsewhere. But you can see there they are all created, all nice and happy there. If we want, we can go back into that fighter and we can edit them. So if you're not quite happy with the fighter, you're always free to edit the fighter here. So if I wanted to go in, for example, change the style, or if I wanted to go to the appearance, you know, it's all configurable here. So I think I can even go back in and add tattoos or remove them. I can indeed. So I could say I'm not quite happy with that beast one. Select it. I could replace it with something else if I wanted. That's entirely up to you, just showing you that you're not locked in there. So there you go, my friends. That's how character creation works in UFC 5. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments welcome. If you need more help with the game, do let me know with what. I'll be adding loads more tutorials in coming days/weeks, so let me know what you need help with. Thanks so much.